and welcome to healthyhouseplants.com, where we teach you all about gardening in the great indoors. Today's video is sponsored by our Amazon affiliate link, which you'll see in the comments section below. Today's video is my 2020 houseplant tour. So we're going to take a tour of and take a look at some of my houseplants. And today's video was suggested by one of my subscribers, Tamika. So thank you, Tamika, and here we go. So right now I am standing in my bathroom, and this is right near my bathroom window is my Ficus lyrata, and fiddleleaf fig is the common name. Very trendy houseplant in recent years. This guy actually was a rescue about 10 years ago. At that point, he was only about a foot high and he wasn't doing really well. So I've written about him as well because he's had a few health problems over the years because of his bad start, but he's doing really good now, as you can see. This is a southern exposure window, so they really like the southern exposure windows. This is later in the days and we are in the winter months, so it's not as much light, but really likes the light, and he's doing really well. Eventually he will reach the ceiling, but I won't have to deal with that for a while yet. So this is my fiddleleaf fig, and he's very happy. So here we are in the bathroom still, and this is further away from the window. So a really good choice for away from windows is Pothos. And this is hanging up on the wall, as you can see, and it's really nice to have something that vines like a pothos up there. Does really good up there. Away from windows, pothos won't grow as quickly as they would with a little bit more light, but they still will grow and they will do really well. Now we're in a corner of my living room. This is actually the northeast corner of my living room. To the right is the north, to the left is the west. I'm sorry, northwest corner of my living room. And we have here a dracaena. So that is a Dracaena Janet Craig in the corner there, the bigger, taller plant, which dracaenas do well in medium light. And because I have an awning outside in the western exposure, and then on the other side I have a Camellia sinensis outside that gives it some shade there. So it is a medium light when all is said and done. And then we have here also a really pretty moth orchid, also Phalaenopsis orchid, a pink, which is a really pretty pink. And then we also have here a pink Chinese evergreen. Aglaonema is the botanical name for that one. So as you can see here, we have a nice, what I like to talk about, vignette. So we have a vignette. There's some peachy pink in the leaves of the Aglaonema, and then we have some pink in the moth orchid, and then you have it upset against the dark green of the dracaena, so it really looks nice. If you do have things outside that are blooming, then that, I happen to be in Southern California, so I do have that advantage of things. You can see the indoors and the outdoors coming in, so you get a really nice picture altogether of the area. So I do tend to have some rattan furniture, so that goes with the different plants. It's a very nice combination with plants as well. Bamboo, when people have bamboo items as well, it looks really nice. So what I try to do is create, like I said, a vignette, a picture, an area, a scene, so to speak, with my houseplants when possible, and bringing in some color always helps with that. In my dining room here, we are looking at my nice tower over there, which I like to keep my African violets on. So we have some mini African violets on top, and then further down below, a really pretty African violet which I actually repotted in a prior video not too long ago, and it's blooming really nicely with purple and white flowers. We have my little fairy garden that I also planted in a video, and you'll see that with it has the pink polka dot plant in it, so it's really pretty. And over here we have another fiddle leaf fig, which is growing really nicely. So that is that little corner here. So here in my dining room as well, we have in the foreground here my really pretty Croton, which I've had since it was a baby. And she's nice and big now, and she goes really well with the painting on the wall there to the right, which was done by my daughter Sabrina. Also by my daughter Sabrina is another painting over there on the wall of the really pretty flower. To the left of that, you'll see hanging a gourd which is holding a fern. So ferns can really do well indoors as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The Croton does look pretty big. You can't see its pot too much, and it's actually not, it's very happy right now, and it is not yet time to repot it. So just to keep that in mind, because people tend to repot things way too early before the plant is actually ready. We also, to the left there, you can see the top of a rubber tree, which I'm actually restoring a little bit because it was having some problems, so I'm restoring it for somebody. So I will do that sometimes too, bring plants a little bit back to life, and then they take them home again. You'll see my arrow garden right there next to the window too, and right now I actually don't have it planted with herbs, but I do have under it a Brazilian cardinatum, which is a succulent, and then to the left of that is a hoya, and they both really like a lot of light at this time of year. In the very corner, you will see Henry, who is the rubber tree that has been saved from root rot, and he's doing really, really well. He's got some extra leaves coming on, even since the last video that I did, and I have him near the air garden. The air gardens can be used, you can plant underneath them, but then you can also, they have a lot of light that splays out around them, and that's really good for any plants that are sitting around them. And right next to Henry, in front of Henry, actually is a peace lily as well. I'm in my living room right now. I'm in my dining room right now, which is just off of my living room. And here I have a lot of plants in this room. Right here I have a collection. This is a palm, a really nice palm. I have here a really cute arrowhead vine and some dracaena corn plant behind that. Over here you'll see a really pretty anthurium. I really like a splash of color here and there when possible. Down below here, I've got some pothos. In this container over here is another arrowhead plant, and that's a little fairy in the arrowhead plant. And beyond that, I have more dracaenas and some other plants, several more dracaenas, as mentioned, and there is a peace lily over there, a couple peace lilies over there as well. So grouping, as I've mentioned, works really well for plants too, just to get, especially if you have smaller plants, to get a more lush look, and also because they will humidify each other and make each other healthier as well. So here we are in my office where I do my writing and creating here, and this is a wall that sits to the right of my desk that I love. It actually all started with the painting that I got, and then I put up to the right there is a hoya that was actually my great aunt. I happened to meet her about several years ago, and she had a plant, and she said, I don't know what this plant is, but it blooms every once in a while. And that's what Hoyas do. They bloom every once in a while when they darn well feel like it, actually. And there's really no rhyme or reason to that. So if you have a Hoya and you're wondering about that, you give them good light. This room has a lot of good light, and you feed them, water them properly, and one day they will bloom for you. So she had it blooming, and it was beautiful. And I took some cuttings because I had gone there on an airplane, actually, and have been growing. I have this one, and I have a few other. There's another even bigger one, actually, that my mother has, and then I have a smaller one growing as well in my dining room. So really fun plant, and really fun plant to know that she has had it for, she's in her 80s. She had it when it was a plant that was actually taken from the family farm in the early 1900s. So it's been around for a really long time, really, really precious memory plant, when I've written about those as well. And then you'll see to the very left there a frog. I love frogs, I collect frogs. And I attached the frog to my wall, and the frog is actually looking at me as I work. So he's my muse. he helps me work, and the colors, the scheme, you can see how you can do a lot of fun things, bringing things together. I lived in the tropics. I lived in Panama for a couple years when I was younger, so I really like the tropical look as well. So there are some, there's a monkey hanging from, you'll see from the Hoya as well, the wax plant, which is a Hoya carnosa, what plant I've been talking about. So that is really fun. And then to the left, just a teeny bit from the frog, I'm going to try to show you that too, because since I mentioned Panama, is a mola from the San Blas Indians, and that little guy there, it's a toucan, so you can see that, really pretty. I've got a little butterfly stuck in there too, so that is a really fun little piece of artwork. They make it specially, it's a special way that they make it, sort of like quilting, but not quite the same thing. There's a chain of islands off the coast of Panama called the San Blas Islands, Islas, and I got that actually years and years ago when I lived there. I bought that from a Kuna Indian who had made it, so that's one of my favorite pieces of art on there too, and goes really well with the whole plant scheme. So in my office, and we are on another colored wall. Actually, I have several colors in the office to keep me, bright colors to keep me awake. My daughter actually likes to call it my crayon box. But here you'll see another mola, really cool mola there, like a little chicken. And there's a window. So I do make use of a lot of window space when I can. That's a Dracaena tricolor in front there, and a little harder to see, but there is another plant behind that as well, so not kind of hard to see. I do have also in the leaves, if you can see it, a little up top, a little bit to the left up top there, a little cardinal, red cardinal that is a plastic cardinal that is in the, I clip into the plant. So I like to do that too, to give the whole, kind of bring the whole design theme together, since it's red and I have red in that mola, and there's a little bit of red wall there. To pull it all together and make it a really nice scene using the plants themselves. And this Dracaena tricolor is actually I've had it since a baby too, so it's really been growing kind of crazily lately, and is probably getting close to getting to the ceiling soon, so I'll have to deal with that. You can there is a way that you can cut off the top and use the bottom part of the plant for a new plant. So I'll probably be doing that in a future video as well. Okay, so we're going to move up now for one last plant here. And that plant you see pretty much touching the ceiling there, that's an Aralia. And that plant I got when it was about 2 feet tall. It was actually at my yoga studio. The man who owned the studio was going to throw it away, believe it or not. And I thought, wait, you're not going to throw away a perfectly good plant. Any plant, I mean, don't throw away any plant, right? So, but it needed some help, but it was still in pretty good shape, and it was only 2 or 3 feet tall. Now I think it's probably 10 or 12 feet tall, 10 to 12 feet tall. But so that's a really nice one, a really nice plant too. I really love that plant, and every time I think of it, I see it, I think about how I saved it from the trash can outside of the yoga studio. So there you go. Well, thank you for stopping by today. And I wish you and your houseplants a wonderful 2020. Feel free, if you'd like to comment on your goals for your houseplant collection in the comment section below, and share what you're planning on doing, and let everyone know what you'd like to do, and also even comment on what you have accomplished in the last year with your houseplants as well. Once again, thanks for stopping by, and please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.